So we are so happy to have Scott join us.
Yeah.
And we look forward to working with him for hopefully a long time.
Well. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Y'all put him through the initiation phase.
Not yet.
Put that in. That's in the basement.
Next is the report, OPPFM, emergency purchases. Thank you so much.
I've just got one question. I don't see it on emergency purchases, but I see maybe it comes somewhere different, at Department of Education, emergency procurement letter that you sent out. Does that show up somewhere else?
Yes, sir. That's going to be on the OPSCR.
Thank you.
Hearing none, we'll move forward. OPPFM sole source first. Any questions, comments, concerns about those? There's none, we'll move forward. OPPFM staff approval for reported to the board.
Yeah, one question on staff approval.
Yes, sir.
The second item up there, University of Mississippi Nike golf. For golf apparel for $475,000. Nike doesn't donate that, under that, they don't get a cut for wearing Nike apparel. I would thought that would be a perfect.
I think there's a rebate process with that with Nike. I don't know if I guess you can call it a discount or a cut, but yeah, there's a rebate program these schools do for Adidas or Nike. So, and that's.
So the University of Mississippi paid $475,000 to wear Nike clothes. We got to pay, taxpayers pay it, but they get a rebate from
Because everyone gets to see that splash on TV.
That's not a bad deal, is it?
And usually it's advertising. Right.
You gotta remember the football team is on there.
Do what now?
The football team is on there, so.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that the university gets out of these deals is big for football, basketball. That's where they get a lot of the exposure, so they give more to those who the university has to buy for your Olympic sport.
I'm surprised. Is that golf? I'm surprised it's being $475,000.
Yeah. Did the golf team spend $475,000? There's no way. It can't be just golf.
That's what it says. Then I would have thought, then he just said they get a kickback from Nike for wearing it.
Oh, no, it's covered.
Oh, shoot. That's the wrong term. I've been oil and gas business, just kickback. There's no rebates in the oil and gas business, just kickbacks. But a rebate.
Is that just golf?
I don't think it is. It's not. It's not.
Purchasing for their store as well.
And Nike Golf can be a brand. I mean, you can wear golf apparel in other sports, like Nike Golf. I mean, there's other golf apparel that you can wear in other sports. And it may be their subset or subsidiary of Nike. They call it Nike Golf. So it's going to be polos and things like that.
Is anybody on the phone?
Like $100 shirt you buy in a bookstore, that's something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a lot of shirts, $175.
I don't have that many. I can tell you, they don't have that many shirts.
And these are teams. These are the teams. These are the coaches. They all wear the apparel. I mean, from your athletic staff. And yeah, these programs have a lot of staff. I mean, these are staff, administrative staff too.
There's used to multiples outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Are you requesting additional information?
I'm sorry.
Are you requesting additional information on that item?
I just thought it was unusual that they would pay Nike.
But it is.
To where they're out, to where their apparel out in the public or in tournaments or whatever, that not, I would thought Nike would pay for that privilege of doing that. But that's just my, on naive thought, maybe, I don't know. Is there, like, says anybody at the university, they set out?
Everything you have Nike swishes on their uniforms.
We can reach out to
Yeah, I mean,
Honest and ask them.
Yeah, if y'all, as a matter of information, I appreciate that. So they move on after that. I don't.
Thank you. POD staff approval.
Question on staff approval. The MEMA, I made a note on MEMA with the Shakers, Zayner Architects.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are they doing?
I'm gonna have to look at
What are the architects doing from MEMA?
that.
This doesn't tell me what they're doing.
From MEMA, yeah, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So that's one of our outside contracts that go through Magic.
I'm
But I don't
sorry.
work- Oh, that's one of our outside contracts through Magic. I'll have to get back with you on the scope of that one exactly. Because I cannot remember.
And I understand maybe buying emergency, material for disasters, but I'm not sure what.
Well, there was architects probably playing some sort of stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what the architect, I'd like to know what
It
they're
was
doing.
it's MEMA. Oh,
There's something. in it.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
their
sir.
own-
through Magic.
I'm gonna go call Chris.
Is anybody maybe on the phone?
I'm getting her, let me see.
Okay.
They're kind of hard to get up with this, with all this other stuff, so let me see if I can get her and then I'll walk back in.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate it, Ms. Wilson. Thank you.
Move forward, OP, SCR, emergency.
That's where that superintendent. Question I got, I was reading the letter, and this was approved in 2021, August 5th, 20. So is that an evergreen type situation, or should this new guy be approved for the upcoming year? And I assure you, I'm not questioning the need for an superintendent in Holmes County. I understand.
I think they change out. And somebody made this be a new person coming in. I asked the same question myself, David, because I saw it's 2021 is when they went under conservatorship.
Yeah.
And they may have more than one superintendent come in. Yeah.
I believe Lee Washington is supposed to be on the line, and she will probably answer your questions in more detail. Lee, are you available? Is anybody available from the Department of Education?
It has been a while since we've had one of these, but this looks like now it's a group of individuals. We have an individual that's on there for quite some time. She goes from school to school. The contract, scope of the contract may change which location, but I don't know if that's the situation here.
I was thinking we used to see this a lot.
Yeah, we used to say, but it looks now it's a larger number, and it looks like there's a group that may be hiring individuals rather than the individual that we're contracting with.
Yeah, they got this Bailey, I think I saw Bailey.
Bailey Education.
Yeah, that probably has a list of interim superintendents that they can provide if you need one. I understand that. I just didn't know.
And so when the Department of Education declares the issue becomes an emergency, that's why.
Or did they lose the last one, or did they like the last one, or fire the last one?
Well,
There's just no explanation. He said we under 2021, we're gonna get this.
Somebody's supposed to be on the line, but I don't know if they can't hear.
Can you, I'm here, this is Monique Corley.
Monique.
Yeah, we can hear you, Monique.
Yes, so here lately, we're coming out of COVID, right? So we have a lot of school districts that are being that's coming down that have not done well during the COVID under the waiver. So we have several districts that are being taken over. And so it has become an issue of us at MDE trying to find retired personnel or people in general to act as interim superintendent. So in the past, we have had the Margie Pulleys, the Stanley Blackmans in place. Well, as you know, times have changed. And like I said, coming out of COVID, we're having to take over a lot more districts all at one time. We got a couple more that's coming down the pipe. So what has happened is, because Bailey Group is a company that can help MDE find interim superintendents, we somehow kind of got them in this emergency situation to start just with the one with Holmes County. We got Wilkinson County that's coming down the pipe as well, and several other districts. So to help us navigate some of that, we have hired Bailey in this instance to take over Holmes County. Now we got Oklahoma. If you've been looking at the news, Oklahoma has been a school district just taken over. So we're kind of like at our cap trying to find people. So at this point, Bailey was the only alternative we had at this point until we can find out something different going forward.
I appreciate that, and as I said, I'm sort of not questioning the need to take over some of these failing districts. The question I have, this proclamation was done August 5th, 2021. Are we still operating off that proclamation?
Correct, we are, yes.
Okay. And has there been interim superintendents at Holmes County since 2021? Is that been ongoing?
Yeah, so we had a young lady, Jennifer Wilson, who we ended up having to terminate. We had Mr. Gilbert that came in to act as an interim for the interim until we got somebody in place, which was Bailey. And so with that being said, the board under the law has 5 years to go back and revisit that. And so we are in our 5th year now. So that is some of that that's coming down the pipe to see what the board needs, for the MDE board need to do to kind of move forward under possibly a new proclamation, because the district has not succeeded from the 5 years that we've already had them taken over.
So the interim that you had was terminated.
Correct.
You brought in a temporary interim, and
Correct.
This is the solution to go forward. Is that correct?
For the time being, correct.
I thank you for that explanation. That
Mm-hmm.
clears it up. I'm sorry.
There's a name in that letter, I believe.
Yeah, Pat Ross. I saw that. I saw that. But I just didn't know how it all worked. How it all came about based on a 6-year-old proclamation, 5-year-old proclamation. You've explained that well, and I appreciate it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Sure. Next item, OPSCR sole source contracts. Okay. Next item, OPSCR staff approvals. Questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none. This is you, find out something?
We're still working on it.
Thank you, ma'am. Next item on the agenda, number 5, DSA Office of Personnel Travel and Police Management. Number 8, consideration of state agency contract.
All right, good morning, everybody. Dan Lynch with OPTFM. The first item today is with MDOT, the Mississippi Department of Transportation, with the vendor Trax Plus in the amount of $1,495,500. This is the 6th extension request of 9 possible extensions for MDOT's articulated front-end loader contract. The previous 5 extensions were approved by PPRB on 8/2 of 2023, 2/7 of 2024, 8/7 of 2024, 2/5 of 2025, and 8/6 of 2025, with the original contract approved by this board on 3/1 of 2023. This contract is available to other state agencies and governing authorities. OPTFM is recommending approval of this extension.
You have the staff's recommendation regarding this extension. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendation.
You have a motion? And a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Next item.
All right, the next item also with MDOT with Trax Plus in the amount of $1,488,000. This is an extension request for their 6th extension of 9 possible ones of their hydraulic excavator contract. The previous 5 extensions were approved on 9/6 of 23, 1/6. I have a 0 there. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what that date. I'm gonna say 2024. We'll correct that in a minute. Apologize for that. 9/4 of 2024, 3/5 of 2025, and 9/3 of 2025, with the original contract approved on March 1st of 2023. The contract is available to other state agencies and governing authorities. OPTFM recommends approval of this extension.
Thank you. You've heard the staff's recommendation for this extension with the noted correction. What is your pleasure?
Move approval with a question.
You have a question on the floor?
Then,
Yes, sir.
each of these, and this is going to refer to 1 through 4, and I've seen these for 5 or 6 years now. They're holding themselves to the same price from 2023, or are they price escalations in these contracts?
Yes, there could be. I don't know. I normally it's held up. That's the term.
To a 2023.
That's your term, yeah.
It's my understanding that's the reason that they shortened the lengths of the contract term and increased the number of extensions, was to assist with the vendors to be able to hold those prices. And that's the reason that they do the individual term for 6 months. Then they request an extension on that existing.
I understand that, but the price remains the same.
Same for the whole term. Yes, sir.
That was my term at MDOT now. Harrisburg, Buskirk, and Ashley Harrell are on the line. They could re-verify if things have changed since I was there.
That's why I didn't want to say it. There could, none of these I've seen have an escalation. I don't know, but I don't want to, if Harris, if you're on the line, you can confirm.
Hey, this is Ashley Harrell with MDOT.
Ashley,
The vendor has stated that they will keep these prices for the extension of the contract. There isn't any increase. The only time they will increase is if there's a market value change, and that would be the only way that they would probably change the price. And if they change the price, we would have to go out for bid again.
Just to clarify, that's all 9 of them, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And if I may ask a question as well, when I met with the legislature, one of the questions, or when I talked with them earlier in the year, they were talking about contracts. For governing authorities and the things that involve these contracts, who makes the governing authorities aware of these contracts? Is that DOT?
yeah.
Because that.
Ashley, I can jump in. We're efforting to increase awareness.
Okay, and then, so that was
Yes.
just one of the questions, was making governing authorities somehow enhancing. I expressed to the legislature I was speaking to that, we do a lot of training. We being DFA do a lot of training, but individuals have to come to it, and individuals have to remember what's trained and the materials that go out from DFA as well. But there was just some concern that some maybe smaller governing authorities may not be getting this information. So just as a thought out there.
And we're increasing website awareness, plus any trainings we do with municipal bodies or city clerks. I mean, when we go present, we let in, I've been talking to Mr. McLeod about it. So we're trying to increase that awareness so they know what's out there. So they're not bidding for something that we have available.
And they're spending their time doing something, they don't have the resources to spend their time.
I've talked with a couple of really that I deal with. Tell them there's availability out there that saves them 2 or 3 weeks, especially when you're talking about the Smith equipment. But even when you're talking about small items, asphalt, things like that, so there's already a bid out there that you don't have to invest with. And some of them are starting to look at that.
It may be also just, it just add a thought, making some of our legislators aware that are out as well. These are things that are already out there.
Well, the ones that really need to know this,
Other county.
well, that I talked to is the auditor's office, when they did the training for local governments for cities and counties, to include some of that in their training for availability of these state, local government entity contracts availability to them. So it's a matter that you may be getting a phone call from them about trying to merge this into their summer meetings or their training sessions in order to get it out, because I talked with the city clerk. And I understand that we're just coming into where we have state contracts again. I mean, we didn't have state contracts for 4 years almost. So.
Well, and that's, I shared with the legislator that, it's available. The issue is, we do our part to inform, but it has to be received. And so that's a huge issue. So it's not, so even he was a little.
When you get this, through the training, through the annual meetings, or the quarterly meetings, winter meetings, summer meetings. Once you put it out there, then it's up to the practice.
Excuse me, gentlemen, if I may interject. A lot of the cooperative purchasing agreement on a lot of these contracts is driven by the vendor. So if the vendor chooses to participate, be able to offer that term at that price for that specification to the governing authorities and other state agencies, they define that in their response.
Right.
So in my experience of it, the vendor community does a lot to communicate with their customers as well. We try to stay in touch with those people as far as the governmental side to make sure that when they're cold calling on customers at cities, counties, whatever, that they're letting them know that the availability for them of that clause and that kind of.
And this doesn't stop the governing authority from bidding it anyway, if they choose to do it. But that was what I'm sharing with the legislator, who's asking some questions. If I can deal with that, it's just.
I'm sorry, I asked what.
Thank you. Hey, thank you all.
But I think we have not voted on this one yet. All in favor? Say aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carried. Thanks.
Chairman, so Glenn came to the rescue, went upstairs and pulled the contract, and it's actually not a legal contract.
That architectural firm.
Yeah, this is Jeff.
Oh, okay, well, it's natural.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
The dollar is for the project budget, not for fees. To do the whole project, not just fees. Normally we'll pay our.
Well, I have a problem. I just was wondering with me and the architects have going on. Yeah.
Thank you much. Next item.
All right, the next item is another extension with Department of Transportation, again with Track Plus for $2,549,000. This is the third extension of 9 possible extensions for MDOT's motor grader contract. The previous 2 extensions were approved by this board on 3/5 of 25 and 9/3 of 25, but the original approved on 10/2 of 24. And this contract is also available for other state agencies, the governing authorities, and OPTFM is recommending approval of this extension.
Thank you. You've heard the recommendation of the staff regarding this extension. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendation.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carried. Next item.
All right, next one, again with MDOT, with Duke's A&W Enterprises in the amount of $577,520. This is the third of 9 possible 6-month extensions for their snowplow contract. The previous extensions were approved by this board on 3/5 of 2025 and 9/3 of 2025, with the original approved 10/2 of 2024. This contract is also available to other state agencies and governing authorities. And if y'all remember from previous discussions, these are the ones that attach to the trucks, not individually driven. So
I
just
remember last September how we laughed at them.
that's right.
Come January.
OPTFM is recommending approval of this extension.
You've heard the staff's recommendation regarding the snowplow contract. Approval of this extension. What is your pleasure?
I mean,
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
I've got a comment though.
Have a question?
No, like Danny Tucker, it's a little too late to do the right thing now with this.
yeah, well, but we approved it in September again, so.
We need to go back about a month and a half ago. It's like,
All opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried.
All right. Next item is Department of Corrections with Canon USA. This is the copier contract, and MDOC has requested we're going to change the dates on this one to begin 7/1 of 2026 to 6/30 of 2029. So we'll make that notation in the minutes as well. That's to allow time for the deployment of these copiers. They needed a little more time, and Canon needed, I think, 3 to 4 months. So that was they did a last minute change on that. So the dollar amount for that is going to be $2,452,325.88. And again, this is using the state contract for copier rentals for 63 locations, including Central Mississippi Correctional Facility, State Prison, South Mississippi Correctional Institute, of Walnut Grove. OPTFM is recommending approval of this contract.
Thank you. You heard the staff's recommendation regarding this contract. In addition to the correction regarding the date. What's your pleasure?
Move approval this amendment.
second question.
The motion on the floor with a second. Have a question?
Generally, we see these copier contracts under staff approval. So, why are these copiers here and the other copiers that we see?
It crossed the $500,000 threshold. It's 2.4 million. It's 2.4 million. So when it crosses that 500,000, it comes to you all as an agenda item.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carried.
Thank you.
Next, thank you very much. Bureau Buildings, now your property.
The first item, and the only item today, is for a change order, which exceeds 25% of the original contract at Holmes Community College, GS number 206086. The title is ARPA Infrastructure, Water Transmission and Distribution, and the contractor is Hemphill Construction Company. The original contract sum is $433,265. Net sum by previous change orders is $76,450.31. The total value for this change order is $83,394.74. The scope is to rehabilitate well discharge header to install master meter included with base bid contract. POB recommends PPRB approval contingent upon funding and executable change order.
You've heard the staff's recommendation on this loan item this morning. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval. Second question.
It's been moved and properly second. Have a question on board?
Rehabilitate well discharge header. Did they find out it was broken before they started?
It was a
Or they
late
found out
after, yes, sir.
Something.
It's a Goodman.
So. Okay, so this thing broke as they were in the process and they had to do this?
I think when they were doing the construction on it, I'll have to find out exactly what happens, but the discharge header is off. I mean, I don't know what part was broken, but they had to change order in some of it. When do you know exactly what broke?
The contract included installing a meter in a location, and when they went to install it, was damaged to this, and had to fix the.
Okay. All right, you know, when you're looking at something, when it says this, you would thought that it was broken at the beginning. I know without doing this, some of this may be from that tornado that came through up there.
This is from ARPA,
Just our phone.
ARPA funds.
Okay.
Yeah. Kansas.
Yeah.
But the tornado tore it off pieces, so just about to rebuild that.
I can't promise.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Me.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. I have it. Motion carried. Next, we have leases.
Hope y'all can hear me. New leases. We'll start out in Mississippi Division of Medicaid in Natchez, Mississippi for 6,200 square feet. A starting year cost of $116,250 or $18.75 per square foot. And through year 1 through 15, that there's a 3% increase per year. Purpose of the lease, this will be the regional office for this part of the state. This is a 15-year build-to-suit lease with 2 5-year options to renew. This lease was advertised and 4 responses were received. The lowest and best response was accepted. RPM recommends the approval of this lease.
You've heard the staff's recommendation regarding this lease. What is your pleasure?
Move to approve, commission staff recommendations for the question.
Second.
You have a motion and a second on the floor. Any question?
Is this a brand new building? Is this going from ground up?
This is ground up.
It's a brand new building. Brand new building.
Yes, sir. Brand new.
I noticed it starting out to 2027, so they have to do it. I'm assuming they got to build it first.
Sir, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Let me speak up real quick and clear again. I see the lease is not starting until 2027.
Right.
So that's just, I made the assumption that they're building this from the ground up.
Yes, sir. Of course, they're not going to make a commitment until we actually approve the lease and get signed and everything. So they'll start it on it in May.
Okay, I think.
Correct.
Yes.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Succeeding leases.
Okay, the next category of leases is succeeding leases. This one is with Mississippi Department of Public Safety in Jackson for 2,414 square feet, $42,245 per year, $17.50. That is an inclusive figure. The purpose of the lease, this lease gives presence, that word is spelled wrong, to the Capitol Police in the Jackson downtown area. The Capitol Police have been at this location since November of 22. This is a 2-year lease with contract with no renewals. RPM recommends the approval of this lease.
You have heard the summary and the staff's recommendation regarding this lease. What is your pleasure?
Move approval.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve this item. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried.
Next category of lease is amended leases. The first one is Mississippi State Board of Accountancy in Jackson for 2,900 square feet. Yearly cost of $36,250, $12.50 per square foot, and that is an inclusive figure. The Mississippi State Board of Public Accountancy is a licensing and regulatory board for CPAs and CPA firms in the state of Mississippi. This amendment extends the lease for an additional 5 years with no renewal. Mississippi State Board of Public Accountancy asks PPRB for a waiver on the space efficiency policy as written in 300.13 Section 6 of the state leasing manual. The agency must comply with the space efficiency policy by reducing its footprint by May 31 of 31. This agency has been at this location since June of 2021. RPM recommends the approval of this lease.
For the summary regarding this lease and staff recommendation.
I move approval.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion carried. Next item.
The next amended lease is with Mississippi Department of Rehab Services in Philadelphia, Mississippi for 2,150 square feet or $25,800. That's $12 per square foot plus utilities and janitorial. There are 2 MDRS offices within this location, the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation and the Office of Special Disability Programs. It's the 3-year amended lease with no renewals. The agency has been at this location since April 1 of 2018. RPM recommends the approval of this lease.
You've heard the summary regarding this lease and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion carried.
Next amended lease is with, again, the Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services in Laurel, Mississippi for 3,400 square feet at a yearly cost of $43,554 or $12.81 plus utilities and janitorial. There are 3 offices within this location: the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation, the Office of Special Disability Programs, and the Office of Assistant Technology. This is a 3-year lease amendment with no renewals. The agency has been at this location since January of 17. RPM recommends the approval of this lease.
You've heard the summary regarding this request and the staff's recommendation. What's your pleasure?
Move for approval.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second for approval. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
Next category of lease is with a non-competitive lease. It is with Mississippi Forestry Commission in Moselle, Mississippi for 1,000 square feet at a yearly cost of $2,700 per year, and that's $2.25 per square foot. This is a hangar lease for the forestry aircraft. This is a 1-year lease with no renewals. The agency has been here since March of 2016. RPM recommends the approval of this lease.
You've heard the summary regarding this lease and the staff's recommendation. What's your pleasure?
Move for approval by the staff recommendation.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion? All in favor of approvals, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Next item.
The next non-competitive lease is with the Mississippi Department of Public Safety. This is the public reduce a 5-year lease to a 2-year lease. The yearly cost is $45,000 per year, or that's $3.75, and that is an inclusive figure. Proposed square footage is 12,000 square feet. This property is made up of a hangar space and for the public safety aircraft and living and office area. This amendment extends the present lease for an additional 2 years with no options to renew. RPM recommends the approval of this lease.
You've heard the summary and the staff's recommendation regarding this lease. What is your pleasure?
Based on staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Jonathan Miller with the Office of Personal Service Contract Review. Item number 1 is a contract modification between the Mississippi State Department of Health and Revity Omnix Incorporated. The term of the original contract is 3 years with one optional 1-year renewal. The contractor provides newborn screening laboratory testing and reporting services for Mississippi birth newborns. Amendment 1 has been submitted to renew the contract for 1 year and update the scope of services with additional testing for newborn screening conditions that are listed on the agenda. The rate for the new testing is $35.94 per newborn. The amendment updates the period of performance, scope of services, and consideration clauses. All other terms and conditions of the original agreement remain the same. OPSCR recommends approval of this request.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendation.
Second the question.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Floor is open for questions.
Are these tests that are being required, are they required of every single birth in any hospital in the state of Mississippi?
That, when it gets to a little bit more technical, that's a good question for our representative on the line. We have Dr. Dorothy Young.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Yes, this is required for all babies born in our state, whether they're born in a hospital or not, home births as well. So they used to be the old blood spot cards, if you remember those from maybe when your kids were born and they prick their heel. Now it's a little more electronic and digital than that, but all of the babies born in the state have that testing done, and then it is sent to the lab that we have procured the contract with. A couple years ago, legislatively, there were additional genetic screening tests added. Our board at the health department approved those additional tests in October, and we have to amend the contract to include those additional tests.
The State Board of Health keeps a record of this for every baby born in the state. Is that correct?
Yes, it's also legislatively required in statute.
Right. I thank you for that explanation.
Sure.
Thank you much. Any additional questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carried.
Thank you.
Next item.
Good morning, Angela Cooper of PPRB. Item number 2, East Mississippi State Hospital is seeking a contract with Dr. Robert Boss in the amount of $895,648 with a term of 2 years with one optional renewal. Dr. Moss is a licensed psychiatrist that will provide psychiatric services to adult patients at East Mississippi State Hospital and all other campuses as needed. The contract worker was selected through a request for applications and was the sole respondent. Dr. Moss will be paid $200 per hour. OPSCR recommends approval of this request.
You've heard the summary of the request and staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move based on staff recommendation.
Second.
Motion and a second on the floor. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried. Next item.
Item number 3, Mississippi State Hospital is seeking a contract with Dr. Gerard Marks in the amount of $235,950 with a term of approximately 4 months with no optional renewal. Dr. Marks is a contract worker that will provide forensic psychiatric services and serve as an attendant and/or supervisor position, providing care via telemedicine link. The contract worker was selected through a request for applications with 10 respondents, 9 deemed non-responsive and/or non-responsible. Dr. Marks will be paid $375 per hour. OPSCR recommends approval of this request.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor.
I've got a question.
Yes.
10 respondents, 9 out of 10 were being non-responsive. Is there something wrong with the process?
Well, those 9 was companies, and this position was for a contract worker, and so of course, the contract worker has to be an individual.
That just seems a little high to be 9 out of 10 rejected. You know, questions asked wrong, or it just seemed a little unusual.
A lot of times when these hospitals put these out, you have these large companies who almost respond to everything on behalf. They'll be like a staffing agency and they'll respond, and they don't realize that doesn't meet qualifications. It has to be an individual, not an LLC, but they're responding to everything out that goes out nationwide.
Thank you. Thank
you. We have a motion on the floor. Any additional questions, comments, concerns? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Next item.
Item number 4 is a modification between Mississippi Department of Mental Health Specialized Treatment Facility and Carrie Joyce Payne Mars in the amount of $17,550. Amendment 4 has been submitted to increase the spending authority and update the consideration clause due to increase of hours from 48 hours to 60 hours. This increase will cover the additional months left currently on this renewal and the final renewal of the remaining in this contract. All of the terms and conditions of the original contract remain the same. Ms. Morris provides speech language pathology services for the specialized treatment facility. OPSCR recommends approval of this request.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
I move for approval based on staff recommendation.
You have a motion
Second.
and a second for approval of this request. Any question, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried. Next item.
Solutions LLC for $225,000. The term of the contract is 3 years with one optional 1-year renewal. The contractor will provide professional services related to external independent medical reviews for state fair hearings and our state administrative hearings. The contractor was selected through an invitation for bids with 6 respondents and awarded to the lowest bidder. OPSCR recommends approval of this request.
Thank you. You've heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move to approval based on staff recommendation for the question.
So,
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Floor is open for
State fair hearings, what exactly is that? What goes on?
Yeah.
For their administrative hearings.
Can you speak up just a little bit, please?
That's just what it's called, is a state fair hearing by statute, so their administrative code and everything else is state fair hearing.
So what goes on?
It's just a grievance procedure similar to what would happen in court where people can challenge medical decisions, beneficiary decisions.
Is that for state employees or is that for anybody? So for Medicaid,
Yes.
People who challenge the diagnosis or the treatment or whatever, they can
Or
go,
whether they're approved for Medicaid.
Right.
Yes.
they can apply and go to the state fairs here.
Yes.
Okay. So it doesn't have to do with the state fair. Kind of threw me off there a little bit. I was wondering what's going on out there. Here, you know.
it's Commissioner Agriculture over there. Yeah, I guess the word fair just means it's a fair hearing. Statewide.
State administrative hearings, that's a little more.
Choice of words.
Figure that out. The other one, I just couldn't quite figure it out. I thank you for that explanation.
There's a booth down there.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor. In favor of this particular item, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried. Next item.
Okay, Mississippi Division of Medicaid is requesting to modify their contract with Molina, Magnolia, and Mississippi True. The original term was 4 years with 2 optional 1-year renewals. Amendment 3 has been submitted to update and clarify enrollment requirements, payments required for out-of-network providers, update requirements for non-emergency transportation pursuant to House Bill 610 from the 2025 regular session, as well as the other updates listed. OPSCR recommends approval of this request contingent upon receipt of the required certificate of insurance.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendation.
So
We have a motion and a second. Question?
The question, we're still in the original 4-year term, is that right? Is that
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Additional question, comments, concerns regarding this item?
Well, wait, is this only impact of American Indians? I'm not, is this enrollment requirements impacting American Indians?
So it's been
Transfer
added.
to nursing homes or death of a member, so forth.
That's just one of the clauses that was amended.
Okay, so it's a number, it's just not,
That's right.
I thought that'd be a lot of money just for section.
I think you list y'all were on board when we had all those hearings. There was a lot to get to this contract.
Oh, it was,
Yeah,
very contentious.
That was when you first,
Yeah, I remember that. We had specific hearings. I looked at the $11 billion and I got back into, I remember doing all that.
We have a motion on the floor. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Next item.
Okay, Mississippi Department of Public Safety is requesting to enter into a contract with the Hinds County Board of Supervisors for $1 million. The term of the contract is 4 years with one optional 1-year renewal. The contract will provide confinement and supervision for adult male and female pretrial and sentence misdemeanor detainees, as well as male and female juveniles charged as adults committed to or in the custody of the county. Pursuant to Mississippi Code annotated 2710472I, agencies under the purview of PPRB may contract with government entities not under the purview of the PPRB without bidding or other solicitation. The agency has determined the price represents fair market value for this service. OPSCR recommends approval of this request contingent upon the receipt of certificate of insurance.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What's your pleasure?
I move for approval based on staff recommendation for a question.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Floor is open for questions.
Question is there a limit to the number of detainees that this $1 million will approve? I mean, is it both so much? I'm sure it's a per day charge that they give, but I don't see a number.
Yeah, I don't believe it's a limit, but we do have DPS on the line.
It's $25 per detainee per day.
Yeah, I figured that.
So it's a per person per day, and I guess, I don't know what that math looks like, but.
Hey,
however,
sorry, this is Rebecca Henley. I'm with DPS, and we do not have a max on there, but it should not. We did estimate higher than, but the limit is specific to what has been set in law. Now, or not limit of number of people, but how much we would pay. It's based on what DOC does. It's in law. And I do not anticipate us meeting that amount that's in there at the moment, but we didn't want to underestimate.
So the DPS estimated that this is what we'll need over that time period. That in those 4 years, we'll need X amount of people to go in there, and it looks like it may cost $1 million, and that's what we're asking for. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. But it's based on the rate actually increases the longer that they are there. So, and this is the first time we're having to put that into place. So we don't have a great estimate of how many people it will be, but part of it will be how fast they're able to go to trial.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. You have a motion on the floor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion carried. Next item.
Good morning, Kelsey Stewart with OPSCR. Number 8 is a contract modification from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources with Michael Baker International Incorporated. The contractor aids and supports municipalities of Bay St. Louis, Waveland, and D'Iberville by carrying out specific community rating system activities to enhance resilience and reduce flood insurance premiums for residents. Amendment 1 has been submitted to update the scope of services and deliverables, the consideration and payment clause, and the period of performance. All the terms and conditions of the original contract remain the same. OPSCR recommends approval of this request.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Are there any discussion?
I've got one question. It says carrying out specific community rating systems activities to reduce flood insurance. What does that entail?
We should have somebody on the line that can probably give you a better description than I could.
A description of some of these community rating system activities, what would they be?
Hey, this
Anyone
is Jamie. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yes, this is Jamie with the Department of Marine Resources. The actual person who would know more information about this is actually in DC this week. So I'm not really sure exactly all of the details of what this entails, the CRS activities. What specifically were you needing to know? I can find out for you.
What, just give me one example of a community rating system activity.
I think in the past, when this came up, it was, and you can correct me if I'm wrong online, but I think it had something to do with, as the city has been rebuilding post Katrina, they have more flood, water dispersals and different things. If they get water out of the city faster and remove, things that cause flooding to rise faster, then they can lower the insurance premiums, and they have to document that through this rating system. And the city's work at making those improvements with the Corps and everybody else causes the rates, the system activities causes it to go down. If that makes
So
sense.
they're paying Michael Baker to say, hey, this will reduce your flooding.
He's assessing what the city and others have done.
Right, it says they're gonna create an overall strategy plan, including programs, projects, and measures that should reduce the adverse impact of hazard for floodplain management. Produce a community-wide floodplain management plan using a 10-step process approved in the CRS. They'll do a repetitive loss area analysis, doing a detailed mitigation plan for these areas.
But it's kind of like even leaving open areas, parks, green spaces and others rather than building. The more you start building in certain areas, it causes flooding to rise, and water can't disperse.
Okay.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor. All in favor of approval of this item, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried. Next item.
Okay, I have a correction for number 9. The period of performance is September 30th and not July 30th, 2026. It's a contract from the Mississippi Development Authority with Maris West and Baker Incorporated. The term of the original exigent circumstance contract was approximately 9 months with no renewals. The contractor serves as an agency of record for tourism, related promotional marketing and advertising, and all related services. Amendment 1 has been submitted to update the period of performance, the method of payment, and to increase the compensation. The agency also asked for an exception request to OPSCR Rules and Regulations, Section 14.8.3, which requires regulatory board approval prior to submission for PPRB approval. All other terms and conditions of the original contract remain the same. OPSCR recommends approval of this request contingent upon proof of regulatory board approval.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendation.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second for approval. Any question, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried. Next item.
Okay, number 10 is a contract from the Mississippi Department of Finance and Administration with Lemoyne Disaster Recovery, LLC. The term of the exigent circumstance contract is for approximately 9 months or until the project is complete. The contractor will provide property management services for the Bolton building as it is undergoing extensive remediation work due to mold infestation. The contractor has extensive knowledge related to this type of consulting services. Given the urgent nature of the current circumstances, it is in the best interest of DFA and the state of Mississippi to proceed with a new exigent circumstances contract with this contractor. Based on the agency's determination that the requirements for exigent circumstances have been met, OPSCR recommends approval of this request.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move for this item.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carried. Next item.
Good morning, I'm Trina Kelly with OPSCR. The Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality has submitted a modification renewal with Delta Waste Solutions for $200,000, Four Seasons Enterprises for $100,000, and Southern Tire Recycling for $300,000. The term of the original contract was 3 years with 2 optional 1-year renewals. The contractor provides professional services for the complete removal and delivery of abandoned or improperly dumped waste tires from selected sites across Mississippi to authorize waste tire management facilities for disposal or recycling. Amendment 1 was submitted to exercise the first renewal and increase the spending authority, and also updates the consideration and payment, as well as some clauses to reflect the new rules and regulations. All other terms and conditions of the original contract remain the same. OPSCR recommends approval of this request contingent upon updated certificate of insurance.
You've heard the summary of the request as well as the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendation. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried.
Thank you.
Good morning, Scott Myrick, Office of Statewide Strategic Sourcing. All right, next item on the agenda is a request for approval for extension of an agency contract between the Mississippi Department of Transportation and Macomb Diesel. The original contract was in the amount of $4,325,510. This is for a single axle cab chassis truck contract. The request is the third of 9 possible 6-month extensions, with the first extension approved by the board on March 5th, 2025, and the second extension approved on September 3rd, 2025. OSSS recommends approval of this extension.
You've heard the summary of the request as well as the staff's recommendations. What is your pleasure?
Move approval of this. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Good morning. Shannon Smith with the Office of Statewide Strategic Sourcing. In October 2023, OPSCR established a list of pre-approved vendors who can provide temporary staffing services to agencies as needed. As set forth in Section 4.4 of the IFB, OPSCR would allow for rolling awards by continuously accepting bids for potential PBL placement. The IFB stated we would recommend awards for all responsive and responsible bidders whose average bid price does not exceed 125% of the average hourly rate for each service category in each region. During this year's rolling awards, 9 bidders responded, and 6 of those were deemed responsive and responsible. This list will be effective until September 30th, 2026. Prices will remain fixed and valid until September 30th, 2028. There is an allowance for a price increase in case of unexpected market disruptions. Price adjustment must be supported by market analysis. Adjustments cannot exceed 110% of the original bid rate. OPSCR, the Office of Statewide Strategic Sourcing, recommends that the bidders listed here be placed on the PBL for temporary staffing services.
What?
Floor is open for question.
It just says, temporary staffs and service as needed. Is there a particular type of staffing service? Is it accountants or?
There are 4.
Or it just covers a whole range of?
Yes, sir. Currently, there are 4 different categories of services. There's accounting, basic administrative support. There's also, there's the warehousing.
So just cover all.
What other one? But I can't-
Okay.
Yes, yes, there's a range.
I have a company that provides warehouse feet,
Yes.
and I want to approve this. I got another company that provides, accounting services. I qualify it to be on approved list. That's what, okay. So a state agency can go say, hey, I need a certain kind of person. I got a list of these kind of people that I can fit. Is that how that works?
Yes, that,
Okay.
these will be staffing agencies that would staff each of these individual types of positions. Yes, sir.
Are they all new to doing business with the state or they're repetitive?
These 6 are new, but we have about at least, I'd say about 24 currently on this list. So this is in addition to that. These will be new.
I think that ABC needs to get somebody to run that. I can read the paper. They need some sort of staffing over there.
Well, see, this one is effective until September, so we will be doing a new one, a brand new list later this fall.
Is there a conveyor belt staffing system?
Yeah, they do use them. They do use, I can't remember which one they use to help.
Thank you for that. No further questions, Ms. Rice.
Thank you. All in favor of approval of this item, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried.
All right.
Next item of business, other business. Anyone have any other business other than the next regular PPRB meeting on April 1? Wow, April 1, okay, at 9 o'clock here. That's right. If not, do you have a motion for it, sir?
I'll make a motion. I own that motion.
Yes, sir, you did. We have a motion to adjourn in a second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carried.